she fell forward and she accidentally bit her lip. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So as some of you may be aware, we were MIA last month because Skye got sick, and as soon as she started feeling better, I got sick. So this video will be about what went down, and hopefully it's somewhat informative to those parents who have little ones going through a similar situation. Just a little bit of background, Skye had only been sick a handful of times so far, and they usually don't last very long. So when she got sick recently, we were a bit more concerned because it was taking longer than we expected, and so we really had to keep track of all her symptoms on an hourly basis to help us figure out what we're dealing with here. So the day before she started feeling sick, she was running inside the house and face planted onto the floor. She somehow managed to cut her lip. There was a bit of bleeding, but there was a lot of tears. Other than the busted lip, she was pretty much herself. We even went to her cousin's backyard later that day to go for a swim. Are you a watermelon? She woke up with a low-grade fever. She was not as energetic, but also not super irritable.
Bonk, 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 bonk.
At this point, other than the low-grade fever, it was exactly the way she normally is. She was still very interactive with us. She would still drink milk and eat her favorite food, and there were no other indication that there was something else that's brewing other than a low-grade fever.
You want some goji berry? Here we go. Here is, guys, goji berry. Cheers, cheers.
Bonk.
Oh, daddy, cheers, cheers for daddy.
Bonk,
There.
bonk, bonk. Bonk, bonk.
Cheers. So the next day, she was drooling a lot more. She was avoiding her favorite food. She wouldn't eat as much during meal times. On top of the fever, which at this point had increased a little bit, so it's no longer a low-grade fever, but it's not over 40 degrees or anything. So we decided, okay, we'll still watch out for her symptoms, and we'll take it one step at a time. But later that day, the cut on her lip was noticeable, and it looked like it was starting to develop into an ulcer. Her shirts are always soaked with drool. At the same time, her baby molars were coming out, so we thought it could be just because of that. What is that? Raspberry and eggs. That's a weird combination. And yeah, like she was refusing some of her usual food. She wasn't eating as much.
You want this one?
Also later that day, I noticed that her gums started swelling up and they were red, so
Can
like
you show
tomatoes.
me your gums? It's swollen. Oh, I'm sorry.
Skye, Where are the puffs? I didn't see you eat it. Huh? Is it there? I'm gonna see the puffs. Oh my gosh. Her fever had gone down, but her gums were still swollen. We thought this was due to poor brushing habits, so we got her to watch a video of a kid brushing her teeth. And we also encouraged brushing a couple of times a day, not just after meals, but also even while in the living room, just to kind of get her used into brushing more often. Like, we also try to brush her teeth after she brushes her own teeth, but during this time she wouldn't let us do this because, like, I guess her mouth is still kind of painful. And there were also some blisters on her chin and on the side of her mouth. We thought that those were due to excessive drooling. So yeah, we didn't think too much of it, but we were talking to our friend who is a nurse practitioner, and he said just to keep an eye on those blisters because it could be contagious, which is what we did. This day, in my opinion, was the worst day. We thought she would be better by now. She was still waking up a couple of times at night, and she would cry for hours. She also refused milk. Since it was hard for her to get a good night's sleep, she napped multiple times during the day. Over the past few days, everything sort of slowed down because we were so focused with Skye. We forgot that we still have to shower, clean the house, and basically live our lives, not to mention to tend to our ever-growing pile of laundry. I noticed that there were more blisters on her lower lip, and they would go bigger and then combine into a huge blister. So it was really painful to look at. She had lost a bit of weight, and her face looked noticeably different, at least to us. She was a bit more playful, but she would still cry from time to time, especially if she opens her mouth too wide or she bites something the wrong way. A bracelet? What is that? Why do you have it in your arm? It's tape. Although her sleep was still interrupted, she no longer had a fever and was slowly eating more and more. She was so much better. She was playing and eating well. Her sleep was getting better too.
Aw, baby's feeding mama because she's sick. Make sure mama has her nutrients. Hey, Skye.
Skye woke up today and she was good as new. I, on the other hand, was on day one of my blisterous journey, if that's even a word. You can have some too.
Yeah. Oh, she only gave herself one, and she gave you like 90% of the what?
Thank you, Skye.
Wow.
We later found out that Skye had hand, foot, and mouth disease, which is very contagious, and that's how I got it. Surprisingly, it took about 2 weeks before I fully recovered, whereas it only took Skye 1 week. Apparently, it's pretty common in young children, especially those ages where they keep stuffing things in their mouth. Unfortunately, there is no cure for it. It's one of those things they just have to ride out and goes away on its own in about a week or so. The important thing is diagnosing it properly because this disease is caused by a virus, meaning antibiotics won't help.
Skye's eating broccoli again. She's back.
I will post a link down below if you want to learn more about this type of infection. Keep in mind though that this is not the same as the foot and mouth disease, which comes from a different virus and affects only animals. Hopefully it's somewhat informative to some parents who have little ones going through a similar case or like situation. But of course, if you feel like in your gut there is something seriously wrong, especially with your little one, definitely get it checked out, or at least check in with your doctor.